the Denver Nuggets amping up. They are looking mighty sharp right now. They brought in Cam Johnson. Well, first they got rid of Michael Porter Jr., who was making about 38 million a year, right? And he had a rough year this year, right? But they brought in Cam Johnson. They brought back Bruce Bowen,
Bruce Brown.
Bruce Brown, sorry. And then there's two other acquirers that they got. Well, they
Tim
tried to
Hardway.
sign for sorry, who's the name you said?
Um, Tim Hardaway. Sorry, Tim
Tim
Hardaway.
Hart. Okay, they brought in a
Tim Hardaway
shooter.
Jr.
They brought in
Tim
another
Hardaway.
shooter, which they definitely needed.
Oh, and they traded for Jonas.
For
Jonas,
Jonas.
sorry.
They
No,
brought,
no,
yeah,
Jonas Valanciunas. Sorry, my
Valanciunas,
bad.
right?
My bad. My
Who's
bad.
kind of, there's some rumors about how he's trying to go to like a Euro League, but let's hypothetically say he stays with the Denver Nuggets. With those four acquires for pretty much the same money that you're paying MPJ, where does that put Denver in your eyes right now?
I mean, yo, watching this past season or like past playoff run, like I think they're right behind the the OKC Thunder, and that's with a hobbled Aaron Gordon. That's with Michael Porter Jr. That's with Jamal Murray being inconsistent. Like I think the Denver Nuggets have always been there. The Cam Johnson move, obviously like a younger player, you know what I'm trying to say, who makes less money. You know, they him and Porter Jr. kind of do the same, but it's just less money, which works out
Mm-hmm.
better for the Nuggets in the long run. You got Hardaway Jr., who shot pretty well for the Pistons. You know what I'm trying to say? And like that was going off of Cade Cunningham's spacing. Now he has Jokic's spacing. Oh my gosh. Bro, this guy's gonna be wide, like it's gonna be crazy. Bruce
Yeah,
Brown, comfortable in Denver, you know what I'm trying to say? Very comfortable. And
defensive monster.
defense, yep, playmaker and stuff like that. And and like yeah, so like Valanciunas, like if he comes back, if he actually plays for the Nuggets, that's a quality NBA big who can give you what 15 minutes maybe that you need off the bench for Jokic. So like this just strengthens like makes them a little bit stronger. You know what I'm trying to say? And like I said, I've always had them just behind OKC. So if you're asking me specifically, I don't think it puts them over OKC, but it probably makes the playing field just a little bit more even. But I've always had Denver second or third best team in the Western Conference, maybe like top five in the whole NBA. So like for me, like I know a lot of NBA fans think Denver was like way down here, whatever, and now they're up here. But for me, they've always been up here, so I don't think there's much room for them to make. But very solid moves. Should help Jokic in in the regular season, in the playoffs, so he's not tiring himself out. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I like the moves. I definitely like them.
Personally, I think give Denver the ring right now. Give Denver the
Oh,
ring right now. The season hasn't even started yet. Okay, look at it like this. They had a rough start last year, right? They were sitting at like eighth or ninth for the first 30 games, right? They got things back together and they ended up like fourth or fifth, right? Yeah, because they ended up playing OKC in the semis. They lost to the champions in game seven in an away game, right? So you bring in four solid players for one that was inconsistent last year. Your regular season is going to be way better, right? You're going to have the biggest concern in Denver was the non-Jokic minutes, right? So if you bring in Valanciunas and he's a solid big. We're very familiar with him. He has it's almost like some of these players between Jonas and Bruce Brown, they've just been chilling in the league, waiting to like end up on a good team. Like they haven't even been burning themselves out, right? So they're somewhat fresh. And they're not young players. Don't get me wrong, but they're matured players with not much health issues, right? The Jokic non-minutes are gonna go way up if you have Valanciunas hypothetically on the team, if he doesn't decide to go over or go across the pond, regular season is going to be way better, like I said. And then the non-Jokic minutes, you solved pretty much all the problems that you had last year. Is if Jamal Murray is just a solid point guard and who we know him to be, I put them over OKC at this point. I put
and the
them over
Rockets.
OKC. Yeah, yeah.
Damn. Believe in Jokic. No, I'm not. To be honest, I'm not mad at you because, like I said, I think they're a top two, three team in the West, regardless. So
Yeah.
I'm not mad at that. I'm just saying, you OKC man, they're a really good team, but they lost in 7 games. They almost lost.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
close. They're 1 game away from not winning an
exactly.
NBA championship this year. So I'm not
And
mad.
and and I heard a stat that like the last 7 championships hasn't gotten past the semis. Like
Well,
we were even saying this like last month. OKC is gonna have a tough time next year. They're gonna have a tough like the target is on their back at this point, right?
yep.
Um, they've more or less been figured out. I don't think Shea's gonna get all those calls that he was getting this past year, right? Like he's been figured like they're gonna figure him out a little bit. He's still gonna be a great player. I don't think he's gonna average 33. Like that was their window, that was their time to, go off, and they did. They got what they needed to get done. But they're gonna have a tough time next year. And Denver just, added 4 solid players. I'm talking about Valanciunas and Bruce Brown. Cam Johnson is a young stud. Like, you know what I mean? He was doing dirt in New Jersey. He was playing very well, right? And you add that to a championship roster, he's gonna flourish, right? As long as he stays consistent, that's all. Like you minus your issues and add in a great player. Like you get rid of MPJ because he was inconsistent. Maybe they would have got over OKC if he was had a good year last year, right?
True.
So as long as Cam Johnson does what he was doing in New Jersey over in Denver, and as long as Valanciunas is there, they're the team to beat. I say give them the ring and give Jokic the MVP. Jokic is
Like
going to
regular
be
season? Like regular season?
yeah. Jokic is going to be the MVP next year. If
This guy's calling it.
I'm calling it today. Today's what, July 4th. July 4th, 2025. Holla at me in about 10 months. Jokic is going to be MVP again because like when I look at the landscape, the East we already know is looking kind of musky over there. Like the only team that really is going to be a contender, maybe Philadelphia if they get their things together, maybe New York again, right? But they're going to be full-fledged teams that have everyone a great supporting cast. Everyone's going to be doing their thing, right? So they didn't even really have any MVP considerations, right? Boston is kind of out of the picture, right? The only team that I think Denver really has to work, or the 2 teams at this point in time, it's still early, would be the Rockets because obviously they got KD. But even KD isn't going to be – KD may be the only other MVP candidate that will be able to go against Jokic because Jokic's numbers were ridiculous, but KD is going to have a supporting cast as well, right? So Jokic runs up a 30-point triple-double average next year and they end up first place, he's going to get the MVP.
Probably.
Right?
Probably.
It was neck and neck, and they were in 4th place. If he ends up in 1st place, he's going to get the MVP.
For sure. But like, yo, how about because these guys are still young, OKC Thunder, right? They're still a young team.
Yeah.
Like, I agree with you that I don't think Shea will still be averaging like 33, 32 points a game. But like he's still young. And those other guys are young, like Chet and Jalen Williams. I could see Shea becoming more of a playmaker. So maybe he's not averaging 33 points a game, but maybe instead of 5 assists, maybe he's at 8. 8, 9 assists because these guys are going to get better, Chet and Jalen Williams. And I think when the offense will probably be in their hands a little bit more just because because I agree with you, like they're going to shut Shea down. Like they're going to be like, nah, like you're not going to beat us. But I think those guys are talented enough to maybe pick up that slack. Is that not enough to still maybe be better than Denver at that point, or like hypothetically, you're like, nah, Denver's still Jokic is still better.
I understand Chet is, I don't know what year Jalen Williams is. Is he 3rd or 4th year player? He's probably 3rd or 4th, right?
Third, I think.
Probably going into his 4th year, right?
Yes. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
He has room. Like, the one that probably has room to go is Chet, because just becoming a smarter player. But like they are the type of players that they are. Like personally, when I hear people are going to get better, like the only way that you can really get better in the NBA is adding something that you didn't have before, right? Like you just said, Shea can become better because if he becomes a facilitator, sure. But I don't think Jalen Williams is going to become a better scorer. It's already a convoluted team where like there's only one ball and there's only 48 minutes. You know what I mean? So you give him more shots, you're taking it from somewhere else. You know what I mean? So not that he can't get better, but like on this team, like I think they are who they are. Their identity is already solidified. So maybe he adds, you know, another aspect to his game, but he's not going to become more of a potent scorer without it coming from somewhere else.
True.
So that's why, as a whole, I don't see OKC getting better than who they are. Maybe Chet does because he can knock down his threes a little bit better, or you know, becomes a little bit more consistent. He was a little inconsistent last year for me with the shot, but maybe he puts on a few pounds. Like that's how I see him getting better. Like I don't see his game changing. Like and you know, players have good years, bad years. Maybe he shoots 45% from three, and then next year he shoots 42. Like you know, what I mean, it's never going to be the same. I just think that the dominoes are going to fall where they fall, but I don't see them becoming a completely different player. And if they grow in some ways, it's going to be retracted or subtracted somewhere else, and maybe it is Shea, right? So that to me kind of leaves them at a break even, right? But Denver is a different team now. They have, you know, they just figured out 15 minutes of Jokic that they were like he was playing 45 minutes a game. You know what I mean? He could play 38, 40. They could blow out teams and they could, you know, rest their players to a certain degree. They had another defensive monster, right? In Bruce Brown. And Cam Johnson is just another and Tim Hardway Jr. Two more shooters that they're gonna I don't know if they're gonna bring back Westbrook, but like you got a shooter there. Like you know what I mean?
Right.
So
Right.
to me, Denver is they just took some steroids and they became a better team of themselves. OKC can only get so much better because there's only one ball and they're bringing back the same team. Unless they're gonna add in another player, I think they're gonna stay quite break even at this point. And you know, they went 7 games, so I'm gonna go with the team that's on steroids now and the team that kind of stays the same. So Jokic for MVP for me. I'm saying it now. I'm saying it now.